Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Maniac Monday. Yes, folks, it's hard to believe the weekend is already gone. And it's the beginning of the work week, which first and foremost, I do hope each and every one of you are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing each and every one of you every Monday through Friday, permitting schedules, and then, of course, major holidays. And then also one last thing, check out the information in the description box. I give you a little bit bigger of a bite in there, so hopefully it'll help you decide if you want to check out the movie or not. I give you a brief synopsis, your starring cast, director, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with an MPAA rating, if there is one that exists, some trivia if I find anything worthwhile of mentioning, and then a link for either a trailer or a scene from the movie itself, which I did find you a link for a trailer for today's movie. It's kind of a funny thing. We're watching this on YouTube, but you're going to have to hop over to Vimeo to see it, which if you just follow the link as usual, it'll get you there. I find that very funny that I'm having you do that, because that's the only place I could find a trailer for it. I did find one on some random website, but I didn't want to send you guys there because it looked a little sketch. But either way, I got you a link for a trailer in there. Now that I got all of that out of the way, let's roll on to the movie of the day. And today's came out all the way back in 2009. It's hard to believe this is 12 years old. I've had it for a while, and I can't believe that I've had it for that long, because I got this back when it came out. I'm pretty sure I special ordered this one because it just really interested me very, very much, because it is a documentary about Bondism and the S&M stuff, which I am a huge fan of documentaries, and why not get one that is on such a taboo subject that people are very scared to talk about or admit that they're into that stuff. I personally am not really into it. I think it's just a little too much with me. I like pleasure. I don't like pain with my pleasure. It's just one of them things. I never really got into it, but I do know some people that are. Either way, that's neither here nor there. Let's get on to what the DVD release that we have going on here. It is from Synapse Films, by the way. It does say it's a special edition. I don't think there's a regular edition of this, so all of them are special. Either way, it is a standard issue pressed DVD as usual with Synapse. No reversible artwork on this one. This is before Synapse really started getting into that. I know they do have that for a few of their titles, and then it also has a nice little card in there that has the title, and then you flip it over on the back. It's got all this illustration on here and a bunch of stuff you can read and add on to the experience that this is. It is as far as special features go. Let me get this closed here. It's giving me a fit. There we go. As far as special features go, you got some deleted scenes in there, and then you got another featurette where they're more in-depth interviews, like extra stuff that was done by the models from the website, Insect's website, which this movie is based. It's the website that this is based off of. It goes from the ups and downs of their website and everything that they went through in between. But back to that, like I said, it has some stuff with the models, and then you also have another featurette, which is an interview with one of the directors. I believe it was Barbara Bell that did the interview, which this is a co-directed film between Barbara Bell and Anna Lorentzon. They both did a very good job with this movie, in my opinion. Excuse me. As far as any of the other cast goes, there's so many various models that are in here, and they go by different names and numbers because it went through there was a whole thing where our main guy, PD, aka Brent, he was one of the first guys to really up and run the bondage websites, and so he was hiring these girls to do these gigs, and um, they would take their name because they weren't copyrighted names or anything like that. They would take that name and go to other websites and promote it and be like, oh yeah, this is so and so from insects.com, you know, when that existed, blah blah blah. Because this documentary claims that it went completely out in 2005. I don't know if that's true. As far as everything on here, it is true, but I don't know if PD, or Brent as he's called, has opened up another website. Maybe some of you bondage freaks out there might know if he has. Send some people their way. Now, like I said, this is a double co-featured, or double director, various cast. PD is our main guy. He's a very like weird guy, by the way. He's very eccentric, is what I would say. Very smart, brilliant, smart. Like his vocabulary and his charisma is just off the charts. His vocabulary just is really impressive. Not that I expected him to be like an ignoramus or anything like that. I just wasn't sure what kind of man I was, or what kind of documentary of the company that the man that was running the company I was about to learn about. So what do we got going on here? Like I said, it's going over the runtime of their company from 2000 until 2005, I believe, is what it was, which PD got himself famed back in the 80s because he was doing bondage stuff back then. He got his way all the way up until he was in his, I believe he said, his 30s. He started going to school at, I believe he said, NYU, if memory serves me. It was either NYU or Berkeley. It was one of the two, but I'm pretty sure it was NYU. But either way, that's not really, that doesn't really matter. But he has a well-established career of being a bondage dominant bondage S&M website provider, not just websites, but live action pieces as well. Like there was one that was called I think it was called the Crystallis, which was basically a giant. It was a giant metaphor for rebirth and the metamorphosis of becoming what he is now, or at least what he was then in 2005 or whatnot. This is 2009 that the documentary was made. So you got a little bit of time and for them to really mull over the situations before they can really give their honest opinions. If they would have came at this documentary right at 2005 when this website was rolling out, I think it would have been a very angry documentary. It's already kind of an angry type subject, if that makes sense, but it would make it a much more angry documentary that I don't think it would have been as good, because it doesn't show the full aspect of everything that's going on here, because you have definitely many different personalities going on here. Like, you got a girl that's being dunked in a tank while she's in a cage. That was one of the scariest things for me. I am super claustrophobic and I am afraid of drowning. So putting me in a small cage like that and dunking me under the water just scared the hell out of me. So I definitely was very sympathetic to her when she called the hard no call when she did her safe word, which was There was a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, she said it, and they just kept going. They eventually like, okay, I'll pull you out of the water type ordeals. But that was really intense. There was a girl who was there's a lot of girls in cages, a lot of girls in cages, just to let you know. There's definitely the typical like whips and leather bondage. There's that typical stuff in there as well, but there's other things that were just off the charts insane. And Brent talks about how he got all this inspiration from old Japanese illustrations and books and French books and other different erotic S&M books that were out there. And he doesn't even touch the what is the Solo book or whatever it is, the 120 days type thing. He doesn't even touch that because he's not that kind of a deviant. He's a different deviant. Yes. But where was I going with that? Brent, you see the different angles of Brent, and how he would have. I feel like he would have been an angry. I mean, he was still kind of a bitter, angry man, but I think he would have been worse if they would have made this documentary right after he was closed down, which the way they closed them down was just absolutely insane. They went through, Homeland Security went through their bank and their credit card company and basically forced them the bank to cut them off on a credit card thing, and they would have to go to different banks that were acceptable of it. And they said it was, the reason for it was that terrorists were funneling money through these films, which is, maybe some places, yeah, that could very well be the fact that could very well be, but in this case it was not. So he was kind of like stuck in the butt, in other words, and he had to close down because they explained how it would have worked otherwise, and that would have been the viewers would have had to mail in a check, and that would take however long to get there if he got it there, if he processed it, and everything like that, and then he would email you a password. So it'd be a couple week ordeal for these guys or gals, whoever it is that is watching these videos. It would give them they would have to wait a lot longer instead of having that instant access that they could have had with a credit card. So it also shows the laziness of human beings, because we all definitely have our lazy moments. I know that I do. Sundays are my laziest day out of the week, yo. Which, by the way, I watched this on I think I watched it yesterday, or no, I started watching a review, or one for a review I'm going to be doing this week that I don't like the movie at all, but that's neither here nor there. We're not getting onto that movie. We're still on this movie. But they closed him down, and it was some really shady business, and it just, you can't help but kind of feel bad for the guy, even though he doesn't really portray himself in a very good fashion, because he's kind of arrogant. He's very takes himself very, very, very seriously. He is 100% living the persona that he is giving to you on camera. So the guy is definitely a hardcore to the bones bondage guy. So that lets you know what kind of a character Brent is. Now, as far as anything else would go, there was a couple things, like there was a girl that was getting shocked in her genitalia, or at least she was going to, and he kind of like pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, and then finally she finally broke and gave him the hard no. That was a very intense scene. There's another really super intense scene where a girl has hot sauce, liquid hot sauce type pepper sauce smeared on her naughty bits, and she's strapped down and she's screaming, no, 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 she can't take it, and this and that, and they just leave it on her. It's some like it's crazy crap, how they push these people to their limits, and then the only way they can get out of it is obviously with the safe word. So there is somewhat of a safe environment. I personally, it's an environment I myself would never want to work in or catch myself around, because I would find myself sympathizing too much with the one that's being dominated. I would end up breaking things up or saying things when I really shouldn't, because that's part of the experience, is getting yourself pushed to that boundary, to that climax. And you really see a couple girls get to those boundaries, and they get that glazed over look on their face, and it is just absolutely astonishing in ways. I don't know how it, I mean, I know how it works. It releases endorphins in the brain, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know where you get in life to where it's like, I want to get beaten and strangled and have a plastic bag over my head and shit like that happen. Anyways, now as far as ratings would go, I'm going to give this documentary a pretty good rating, because like I said earlier, this is extremely well made. I really can't help but get drawn in. I've seen this like 3 times, I believe, and every time it sucks me in, and I can't take my eyes off of the screen. Granted, there is graphic sexual nudity going on there, but there is almost an art to it as well. It's not just let's be as porn perverse as we can be. Let's see like if we can push the Marquis de Sade aside and surpass him. So it's some really intense stuff. But I'm going to give this thing probably, let's say, a 7 out of 10, because it's put together really well on the technical side. The editing works to where it doesn't get all wonky, and it doesn't. The momentum never changes and feels choppy. It is a nice smooth sailing all the way through, which is very, very nice considering the topic at hand. All right, guys. I love your faces. I hope you made it all the way through this one, because I know I stuttered and stumbled a few times in there. That's just how I roll, I guess. My memory and my brain. Anyways, I love your faces. I'm going to get the hell out of here, and I'll see you either tomorrow or the next day. I'm not 100% on how tomorrow is going to go. Oh, I do this every now and again.